Nearly 1,000 aid workers were killed, injured, or kidnapped last year. States dominate the violence, and almost none of the attacks face a real investigation from the trigger pulled to the order given to the weapon supplied. What would it take for states to actually investigate the chain that leaves nearly 1,000 humanitarians counted but not answered for? The briefing put it as nearly 1,000 killed, injured, or kidnapped. The verified count behind it is 907 aid workers hit by major violence in calendar year 2025, 350 killed, 322 injured or wounded, 235 kidnapped. That is the second highest annual toll on record, down from the peak of 387 killed in 2024. Another 280 detentions or arrests by state actors are tracked separately and are not part of the 907. Gaza was the deadliest context with 186 killed, followed by Sudan with 71. More than 1,000 killings over 3 years from 2023 to 2025 have been cited in related reporting. The warning came from Kyiv on World Humanitarian Day, 20 August 2026. Under the title, "An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us." The published remarks close as "An attack on any one of us in our humanitarian movement is an attack on all of us." The speaker is Tom Fletcher, the United Nations Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator, the UN's top humanitarian official. He said, he has been in the job almost 2 years. That day exists because of the Canal Hotel bombing. On 19th of August 2003, a suicide truck hit the UN headquarters in Baghdad, killing 22 people including top envoy Sergio Vieira de Mello and injuring more than 100. The General Assembly created World Humanitarian Day in 2008 to mark that anniversary, first observed in 2009. By this briefing, it was 23 years, marked the day before with a wreath laying in New York. Fletcher's almost 2 years aligns with the record. Appointed 9th October 2024, took office 18th of November 2024, about 21 months earlier. States dominate that violence, Fletcher said, and impunity reaches the entire chain: those who pulled the trigger, those who gave the order, those who supplied the weapon, and those who created the environment. In almost 2 years, he said, he struggles to think of meaningful investigations into this litany of killing. The briefing called the attacks a normalized stain met with impunity. It did not name which states dominate, did not provide incident-by-incident attribution or an evidence package, did not list which incidents lack investigations, and did not define what would count as meaningful or state-led investigations. The warning was distilled from the frontline south. 2 days earlier, on the morning of 18 August, a missile strike on Pereyaslav in the Kyiv region killed at least 10 people and injured 20, while strikes on energy infrastructure cut power and caused outages. In those same hours, Fletcher was moving through Mykolaiv and Kherson on 18 and 19 August, meeting displaced families and drone attack victims in hospitals. In the first half of 2026, aid operations in Ukraine reached 3 million people, with 60% reaching frontline areas with at least one form of help. The briefing was the first time those days were turned into a system-wide warning. Fletcher described a dystopian kill zone. He said he drove the Mykolaiv to Kherson road of death 4 times, for miles and kilometers under netting to keep drones out. The netting is nylon or agricultural mesh over poles forming tunnels more than 100 to about 200 kilometers in the region, under ongoing installation and constant repair because weather, thermite, and incendiary attacks burn sections and tactics evolve. Kherson Hospital itself was hit by a cheap drone. Fletcher said he handled it, a $300 FPV, fiber optic, and loitering drone, and has moved wards and theaters underground to escape. Doctors told him around 70% of their wounded patients have blast injuries from drones, 70% with no total number or period stated, and the move underground described as ongoing. Area hospitals have shifted wards, theaters, maternity, and intensive care into basements and bunkers. That cheap weapon is not contained to Ukraine, he warned. A $300 drone that can maim is transforming and extending war to Somalia, Sudan, Gaza, Lebanon, and Colombia. In that context, he cited 1,000 civilians killed in Sudan in the first 5 months of the year. The demand is for state-led investigations that actually trace who fired, who ordered, who supplied, and who enabled, and for companies that make and move the weapons to understand their obligations under international humanitarian law, with updated enforcement to prevent technology outpacing accountability. The briefing announced no new treaty or mechanism and set no criteria for what a credible investigation must include. It also rejected claims the UN humanitarian system in Gaza has been dismantled, citing over 1 million hot meals per day since the 20-point plan and Sharm el-Sheikh meeting and a target to reach 87 million people this year, but gave no dates or contents for that plan or meeting, did not clarify whether the 87 million is global or specific to Gaza or how it is measured, and provided no timeframe for the meal's figure. Until states open genuine investigations that identify the full chain, the count, 907 last year inside more than 1,000 killings over 3 years, remains a count without consequence, and the stain described as normalized stays unexamined. Like and follow for more stories that matter.